Good morning, children.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah, start with the recap thing and then we'll proceed. Okay, so comparing three sectors you saw just now, yesterday, that is primary, secondary, and tertiary. We started comparing with the help of graphs, right? So you saw this here, and we also saw here, see here, not every good or service that is produced is sold needs to be counted. So final goods we have to take, not the goods which is in the process. So can you tell me what is intermediate goods?
Intermediate goods are items that we use to create another product.
Yes, before the final goods are produced, that is the intermediate goods. Can you give me an example? That is, we saw in the
Food.
book. Yes, then how biscuit is made? Flour, wheat flour.
Flour.
Okay, yes. So it is in process. Sugar, right? Then oil. Okay, all these been taken as intermediate goods, and then finally the final product was the biscuit. So it makes sense only to include final goods and services, right? Tell me how GDP is calculated now. So you give the definition and give the
Like
example of
addition
the
of
biscuit.
all the value of
Explain.
all the things that a particular sector has created.
Yes, right. So GDP is the gross domestic product is the value of all final goods and services produced within a country during a particular year. And how will we explain how we have taken the value of final goods and services? That is, for example, you can give that example in your book, biscuit 1, and that is calculated GDP because the value of the intermediate goods, flour and sugar is included in the final goods, right?
A Tiger in the Zoo, written by George Leslie Norris. George Leslie Norris is from Wales. You know, Britain is divided into three. You have Great Britain, you have Scotland, and you have Wales. And he was from Wales. At a very young age itself, he knew that he wanted to become a poet. He trained himself, he and his wife trained himself to be a teacher, but very soon he got what he really wanted. He loved writing poetry. He was a short story writer too, but he aimed his fame writing poetry. Now here, the poet is trying to bring about a comparison. A tiger in the zoo, a tiger jungle, it's its natural place of living. It is not supposed to be behind the bars, and it is angry when it is put behind the bars. Now let's look at the stanzas one by one. He stalks in his vivid stripes, the fused cage, one patch of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. What does the word is? But here in the poem, though it is proud, he is very, royally he walks over there, but still he's confined to the cage. All his royalty, his ferociousness has been confined into the cage. We have controlled it behind the bars. He stalks, he walks in an angry way. In his vivid stripes, his orange yellow color fur and the black stripes are very, very clear, very, very distinct. It can be seen from anywhere. So when he walks royally, we feel happy to see it in the cages. But when you go and visit a tiger in the zoo, or when you are seeing a tiger in the zoo, if the tiger is not moving, it is lying around lazily, do you really like it? You like it only when it starts moving around, when it starts walking around, not when it is sitting. The same way the tiger also does not enjoy the place that is given to it. It needs a wider area. The few steps of his cage, what is his movement limit? It is limited to the cage. It cannot go more than when it is outside. He is free. He can do what he wants. When we are confined to one room, we are not very happy. Now imagine one of you is locked in the room for the whole day. You didn't study. Your mother is unhappy with you. She has locked you in the room. What happens? If you are a very agitating type of person, or a person like the tiger, you might spoil the entire room. The entire room might be in a big chaos by the time your mother comes to search for you. And then after some time, you have lost your energy. You do not have the energy to fight back. You leave it. So that is what happens to the tiger too.
We saw the process of digestion, where complex food molecules, macromolecules, are changed into human form and they are absorbed into our body. Yes or no? So we have reached the third step in Holozoic nutrition. What is that? First we saw ingestion, where food is taken into our mouth. Then we saw digestion, and also we learned that the small intestine, the innumerable finger-like projections villi which are present in the small intestine, also help to absorb the digested food. What will be the next step in Holozoic nutrition? What will be the next step?
Absorb.
No, not absorption. What will be the next step in Holozoic nutrition? Ingestion, digestion, absorption, and then very good. So assimilation. So what is it? What is the meaning of assimilation? To use this energy which is generated for our life processes. But when I say the digested food is absorbed into our body, does it mean we have got energy, children? Does it mean we have got energy? Or is there a need to generate energy or release energy?
We only generate energy during respiration, aerobic respiration.
Yes, correct. So the food which is absorbed by each and every cell, after the food is absorbed by the small intestine, blood, which is a fluid tissue, is going to carry this digested food to each and every cell of our body. Once these nutrients, micronutrients, or the simplified form of food reaches our cells, this food has to be acted upon by oxygen, or the food has to go an oxidation process to release energy. Till then, our body is not going to get energy to perform different life processes. Do we get that point? So this phenomenon where energy is released by oxidation of organic molecules or glucose in our cells is called as cellular respiration, is known as cellular respiration or internal respiration.
6a square.
Good. Volume?
A cube.
Good. What is diagonal of a cube? Diagonal. A root 3. That's a formula for diagonal. Okay?
Square.
Okay. Yes. Now for hemisphere, Lakshit.
2 pi r square.
Very good. 2 pi r square. Then total surface
3
area.
pi r square.
I hope everybody has taken down all the formulas. I'm erasing this. Let us try to understand what is the difference between 9th grade surface areas and 10th grade surface areas. In grade 9 also we studied surface areas. In grade 10 also we are studying surface areas now. Okay. I will give you some examples. Today our entire idea will be to understand the combination of solids, what are the new solids that are formed, and how do we figure out its total surface area, and how do we figure out its volume. If you can do this, if you can just do this, then this chapter will be the easiest chapter of the lot. Okay, such an easy lesson is this. I want you to participate again. Once again, we'll start with Lakshit. Okay, Lakshit, you just tell me what are the two
Yes,
objects
sir.
that are in this figure.
Sir,
What are the two
cone and
objects that-
hemisphere.
Very good, Lakshit. Cone and hemisphere. Perfect. Okay. Now, Lakshit, this is one solid object. What will be its
Yeah.
everybody understand? Surface area. Surface area hereafter refers to total surface area. Do understand this. Surface area always refers to total surface area. Okay. So when I say here surface area of this object, so in which way I can calculate surface area of this object, Lakshit? Surface area of this object would be what? What are different surfaces this object has?
Sir,
Okay.
surface area of cone and surface area of hemisphere.
You mean total surface area of cone and total surface area of hemisphere?
Yes,
That's
sir.
what you mean, Lakshit?
Yes, sir.
No,
Yes,
it is
sir.
wrong. It is wrong. Okay. total surface area of hemisphere.
Sir,
It
can I
is
share?
wrong. Wait. Everybody concentrate
Oh.
here. Okay. These are the two objects. Now
Lateral
let us
surface
see.
area, Sharaf.
Wait. Who is that talking? Okay, Lakshit, see here. This is for cone. Okay. That's cone. Just see what are the different surfaces the cone has. Okay. How many surfaces the cone has here, Lakshit? How many different colors you see here?
Sir, 2, sir.
2 colors. Okay. In that, blue represents what? The blue represents what?
Sir, the lateral surface.
A curved surface area. Good. The blue represents a curved surface area. Green represents what?
Base.
Sorry?
Base.
Green. The green
Circles
represents what? The
area.
base area. Circles area. Correct. Base area. Perfect. The base area or the circles area. Perfect, Lakshit. Okay. That's great. Now, in this one, the pink represents what here? The pink represents what?
Curved surface area.
Curved surface area. Very good. The green represents what? Everybody understand this. The green represents what here? The green represents what? Lakshit, green represents what? The green
Sir, the top
represents
area.
the top area. Very good. And it is again water. The top area is again water.
Circle area.
A circle here.
Circle area.
Very good. Everybody concentrate and understand. When I'm asking to Lakshit, I am asking to each one of you. That's what it means. But because if you suppose everybody starts talking here, it becomes too messy over here. That's the reason we are addressing to one specific person at one time. But do understand that it is to everyone. Okay. Now, Lakshit, think properly. Okay. Suppose when you say here total surface area of a cone, that means this is blue region plus green region. Is that true? Is that true, Lakshit?
Yes, sir.
When I say total surface area of hemisphere here, this represents the pink region plus the green region. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes. Now, when you're combining these two, what happens?
Yes, sir.
What happens here?
Sir, can I say, sir?
Wait.
The
Ishan.
base part and the top area gets combined.
They combine. Okay.
Yeah.
Then where they both combine. Very good. They both combine. And then what regions are will we have? Then what are the
We'll
different
have
colors?
the CSA of both the shapes.
We have CSA of both the shapes. Okay. Very good, Lakshit. We have CSA of both the shapes. Okay. So it means that in the new figure that is formed, we don't have, in fact, we don't have here the green region. We have only what the blue region and the pink region. So earlier what you said is the surface area of the solid is TSA of cone plus TSA of hemisphere. This is what you said. Then is this right?
No, sir.
Is this right?
Have you read newspapers talking about the plight of farmers?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you think is the present situation of the farmers' kids? What do you think is the present? Yeah, tell me, dear.
So they're not like able to get supplies. Also, the demand is also increasing, but then they're not able to supply because the transportation is also cut.
Exactly. And
Ma'am, and they cannot buy chemicals and fertilizers.
Yeah, so much so, children, we have also seen a very disturbing news about farmers committing suicide, unable to bear the debts. Have you read such news articles of farmers committing suicide, unable to bear the cost?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
and you would really need to know what is the real situation of what the farmers are facing. So though it may be a little disturbing, that's the real picture of what the situation of farmers in India is. This video talks about the plight of farmers in Andhra Pradesh. Okay.
In May, millions of poor farmers voted in a new government, but so far there's been no emergency aid. 10 million farmers across Andhra Pradesh are suffering. Year after year there's been little rain, and this is all that's left to show for their hard work. Another failed crop means more debt and more pressure to commit the ultimate act of desperation.
Children, did you see the poor plight of the farmers? Padma,
Yes,
what have
ma'am.
you understood through this video?
That the government needs to spend more money and resources on developing the poor areas and the farmers more than, because high-tech industries are already developing and they can do well on their own.
Exactly. Children, in fact, in the previous video, we have seen that how important farmers are to us, right?
Good afternoon, everyone. So, can you tell me what was the last topic, last subtopic, what we have discussed yesterday?
Image positions of
Image
lenses.
formation by convex lens.
Image formation by convex lens and concave lens, and we also discussed about different object positions. Before going to the next, so I think this is what we have seen as object, 6 different positions of objects, and also the nature and also image positions. So the first position of the object is object when it is placed at infinity, image forms at focus. And in the second case, when the object is placed beyond 2f1, image forms between f2 and 2f2. When the object is placed on the f1, on the focus 2f1, image forms on the 2f2. That means when the final thing is, when the object is placed at 6, what happens? It's 6 minus 6, it is 0. 0 means the object image will not form on the right side. It is not a real image. It is a virtual image, and the image forms as the same side of the object. This is the last case, and we also mentioned it as the special case. Why it is a special case? That is the only case where a convex lens forms virtual and erect. You can see the first mirror formula, and you can also see the different types of mirrors, spherical mirrors, and where they are used exactly. And we all know the mirror formula, 1 by f is equals to 1 by v plus 1 by u. It is plus here. And yeah, again I'm telling, when you are using this mirror formula, you can even write it as 1 by u plus 1 by v. There is nothing wrong. It can be a plus b is equals to b plus a. And next, it is about the magnification. You can see how a face of this person is getting magnified. So we already know what is a magnification formula for the mirror. Magnification in terms of height is hi by h naught, and magnification in terms of distances will be minus v by u. Again, using the m value, we can decide whether it is a real image or virtual image. M is negative for the real images, and M is positive for the virtual images.
Sodium hydroxide, which is also called as a caustic soda. This is prepared from the brine solution. Did you remember what is a brine solution? Anybody? Brine solution?
Sir, aqueous solution of sodium chloride.
Very good. Aqueous solution of the sodium chloride is called brine solution, means sodium chloride with water. So when we pass electricity through the brine solution, then it forms a product called caustic soda, that is sodium hydroxide, and liberate the chlorine and hydrogen. Achha, can you say where the chlorine and hydrogens are liberated at anode and cathode? Which is liberated anode and which is liberated cathode? Did you remember?
Hydrogen
Anyone?
is liberated in anode, and sodium is liberated in
I know
cathode.
chlorine is negatively charged,
Chlorine,
so it is
sorry, chlorine.
Chlorine
at
and anode and hydrogen and cathode.
So Adi, you're mistaken here. The chlorine is liberated, okay,
So it's
at the
sodium
anode,
by
and
mistake.
hydrogen is liberated at the cathode. Okay, because hydrogens are positively charged ion. Okay, so they are attracted towards the cathode. So hydrogen is liberated the hydrogen is liberated the cathode, and chlorine is liberated the anode. This we discussed. Okay, and we also discussed about the bleaching powder. Okay, and stop everyone with your and listen. Calcium hypochlorite. Calcium hypochlorite. This is a chemical name of bleaching powder. Very important. Note down, everyone. Okay, it is not there in your textbook. Okay, but note down calcium hypochlorite. Here one more type of salts. These are the part of salts only. So I am going to discuss one more type of salt, that's called the hydrated salt. Okay, what are that? Hydrated salt. Okay, so here hydrated salts are water. Okay, a salt which contains water in it, okay, are called a hydrated salt. Okay, once again listen the definition. A salt that contains water in it is called a hydrated salt. Okay.
Very good afternoon, children. Today, I'm going to take a lesson where you will be telling the name of the lesson by identifying the things which I tell you and ask you the questions. Okay? So, Aditya, can you see this? Unmute and tell the answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell me what is this brush made up of?
Ma'am, the down part is made up of plastic and the bristles are made up of nylon.
Right. Now, you're going to study about synthetic fibers. Synthetic fibers are also called as man-made fibers. So, the natural fibers, they are composed of atoms of various elements like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, sometimes nitrogen and sulfur in lower quantities. They come from plants and animals. And if you see silk, it is continuous long filament which is up to 1 kilometer in length. The sources of natural fibers are cotton from cotton plant, linen from flax, wool from sheep, silk from silkworm, and jute from jute plant. Right? So how are the synthetic fibers made or the man-made fibers made in the factories? But how are they made? Let's see an experiment. I will show you an example. Can you see this bead, children? Can you see this bead? How many beads are there in my hand? Yes, Rohita, tell me how many are there in my hand?
Ma'am, one.
Are there? Only one. So,
One.
now you can see a chain in my hand. Can you see this chain with many beads?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see this chain with many beads? Okay. Now there
Yes,
are
ma'am.
many units formed to joined together to form a long chain. These are many units joined together to form a long chain. Okay. When one unit is there, I call it as mono. When many are there, I call it as poly. Okay. Now, we will be knowing the terms what is this monomer and polymer in a synthetic fiber. Okay. So children, today we have learned about the 4 different types of synthetic fibers. Okay. I will show you a video, after which I will be speaking about the advantages and disadvantages of the synthetic fibers.
What is common between a frying pan, a rope to hang your clothes, an airtight container, and a pair of slippers? Apart from the fact that they are all very useful in everyday life, another common thing is that they are made up of long chains of repeating units. In simple words, they are made up of polymers. What exactly do we mean by polymers? As the name suggests, poly in Greek means many and mer refers to unit.
हाँ, सुखिया सब संसार है।
सुखिया सब संसार है।
संसार
आइए आरु सब
सोवे हाँ
दुखिया वीर है। जागे अरु रोवे। मैं भी हिंदी की भी
सुखिया का मतलब बेटा यहाँ पर जो है ना कबीरदास जी हैं, इनकी भाषा को पंचमेल खिचड़ी कहा गया है क्योंकि उन्होंने कई तरह की भाषाओं का प्रयोग अपने दोहों में किया है। उनकी भाषा में अरबी फारसी भी है और उनका अवधी भाषा भी है, ब्रिज भाषा का भी प्रयोग है, राजस्थानी पंजाबी ऐसी सब भाषा उनकी मिली जुली है, इसलिए इनकी भाषा को पंचमेल खिचड़ी भाषा कहा जाता है, सदुकड़ी भाषा भी कहा जाता है। ठीक है, जैसा कि आपको मैंने पहले वाले स्लाइड में बताया।
ఈ చిత్రం చూడండి ఒకసారి। ఈ చిత్రంలోని ఎంతమంది ఉన్నారు, వాళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తున్నారు, ఏమైనా చెప్పగలరా? ఈ చిత్రంలో 4 మనుషులు ఉన్నారు. వాళ్ళు కొన్ని సామాన్లు తీసుకొని వెళ్తున్నారు. అలాగే వాళ్ళకు కావాల్సినటువంటి బట్టలు, పిల్లల్ని తీసుకొని వాళ్ళు వేరే ప్రాంతానికి వలస వెళ్ళడం జరుగుతుంది. అదే విధంగా ఇంకో చిత్రాన్ని చూడొచ్చు మీరు. ఇక్కడ ఈ చిత్రంలోని మీరేం చూస్తున్నారు, ఎవరెవరు ఉన్నారు? ఒక కుటుంబం, ఆడవాళ్ళు, పిల్లలు, మగవాళ్ళు, ముసలి వాళ్ళు, వాళ్ళంతా కూడా బట్టలు అదే విధంగా వాళ్ళకి కావాల్సినటువంటి కొన్ని సామాన్లన్నిటిని తీసుకొని వాళ్ళు ఒక ప్రాంతం నుండి వేరే ప్రాంతానికి వలసలు వెళ్తున్నారు. ఇలా వీళ్ళు వలసలు వెళ్ళడానికి గల కారణాలు ఏమై ఉంటాయి? ఇది కూడా చూడొచ్చు మీరు. ఈ చిత్రంలో కూడా కొంతమంది తమ యొక్క సామాన్లు తీసుకొని వాళ్ళు వలసలు వెళ్తున్నారు.
Nous pouvons aller à la mer et à la montagne dans la même journée. So that means she says here we can visit even the sea and the mountain in the same day. Les aigus de Bavela sont très belles. Les aigus de Bavela. Now, les aigus de Bavela sont très belles. Il y a beaucoup de petits villages parchés. Au centre, il y a des cultures d'oranges et de citrons. On y voit aussi beaucoup d'animaux comme des ânes, des moutons, des chevaux et des cochons. Now, if you can see here, see how does she explain, how does she describe the place? She
What is
says,
it? Cultures
I'm coming
or
to that. I'm coming to that. How is she describing the place? If you can see here, she says the aigus de Bavela sont très belles. Aigus de Bavela means there's a place in the mountainous region where like the trees and all, they grow in such a way that if you see from far, they look like long needles.
ఈ విధంగా దారిదోపిడీలు చేస్తూ ఉంటాడు. చేస్తూ ఉండగా ఒకరోజు కొంతమంది మునులు ఆ దారి వెంట వస్తూ ఉంటారు. అప్పుడు వాల్మీకి మహర్షి యథావిధిగా మీ దగ్గర ఉన్న వస్తువుల్ని నాకు ఇవ్వండి అని చెప్పేసి వాళ్ళతో కటువుగా మాట్లాడతారు. అప్పుడు ఆ మహర్షులంతా మేము తపస్సు చేసుకునేటువంటి తపస్సంపన్నులని, మా దగ్గర ఇవ్వడానికి ఏమీ లేదు అని చెప్పేసి చెప్తారు. ఏమీ లేకపోవడం ఏంటి, ఉన్నది ఇవ్వండి అని చెప్పేసి అంటే అప్పుడు మునులు ఇలా మమ్మల్ని హింసించడం అనేది మహాపాపం, అందుట్లో మీరు ఈ విధంగా పాపాలు చేసి మీ భార్య బిడ్డలను పోషిస్తున్నావు, ఇందులో నువ్వు చేసిన పాపాల్లో మీ భార్య బిడ్డలు కూడా పాపం పంచుకుంటారేమో అడిగిరా, ఆ తర్వాత మేము తరుణోపాయం ఆలోచిస్తామని చెప్పేసి చెప్తారు ఋషులు వేటగాడికి. అప్పుడు వెంటనే ఆయన వేటగాడు भार्या बेटे దగ్గర కెళ్ళి
हमने हरियर काका शुरुआत की थी और हरियर काका में आपने देखा कि किस तरह से धीरे धीरे ठाकुरबाड़ी और घर हरियर काका के लिए काल और विकराल का रूप लेने लगे हैं। हमने देखा किस तरह ठाकुरबाड़ी उस गांव वालों के लिए कितने मान सम्मान की चीज थी और फिर धीरे धीरे वही ठाकुरबाड़ी अपने स्वार्थ के लिए लोगों का इस्तेमाल करने लगी। और फिर हमने देखा कि किस तरह से हरियर काका को वो लोग अपने पक्ष में लेने के लिए, उनके पास जो 15 बीघे जमीन था उसको अपने पक्ष में लेने के लिए उन लोगों ने उनका पूरी तरह से खातिरदारी की, उनको इस तरह से समझाने का प्रयास किया ताकि अपनी सारी जायदाद वो 15 बीघे जमीन ठाकुर बारी के नाम लिख दे।
अभी हम पढ़े थे इसमें इस्म की 2 किस्में हैं, इसमें आम और इसमें खास। तो हम पढ़ेंगे सबसे पहले इसमें आम। इसमें आम की कितनी किस्में हैं? 5। इसमें आम की 5 किस्में। सबसे पहला है इसमें जात। अभी हम पढ़े थे इसमें जात।
इसमें जात,
इसमें जात,
हाँ हम कोई भी जात के बारे में बता रहे तो परिंदे, फॉर एग्जांपल
परिंदे, इंसान,
जानवर।
तो अलग अलग जानवर है, तो ये इसमें आप पता चलेगा कि ये जात है। ठीक है, नेक्स्ट सेकंड वाला देखिए। अब
सेकंड वाला इसमें कैफियत।
इसमें कैफियत, इसमें कैफियत में हमें क्या,
हालत के बारे में, हालत, वो पानी ठंडा है, गर्म है।
हाँ,
हालत, कैफियत वो चीज की या जगह की,
इसकी कैफियत या हालत मालूम करना है तो वो कहलाएगा इसमें कैफियत। जैसे कि पानी ठंडा है, गर्म है, ठीक है, इंसान नेक है, बद है, खूबसूरत है, ठीक है, ये तमाम चीजें इसमें कैफियत में आ गई। तीसरी किस्म है इसमें उर्फ।
What were the causes of empty treasury in France? The long years of war that drained the financial resources. Whenever we'll have a fight, what I was telling you, warfare with some other country, the major problem is we will lose our human resource because they are fighting, as well as we will be losing our financial resource. Now, what were the social causes? Yesterday I discussed this. That France was most advanced of all continental countries in the second half of 18th centuries. But socially, it has some glaring defects. That means society was divided. There was no equality. Even the tax and all that was strict for those people in France, those who are in the third estate. And the society was divided into 3 estates.
Now, can you all see the Excel file which I am sharing?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
Now, first of all, let me tell you, conditional formatting is formatting your Excel sheet or spreadsheet based on some conditionals. Conditions like, suppose if you want to see, if you highlight the sheet by few colors, then it will be easy for you to identify, right? So, now here I have some sales sheet, right? See, this is a sales Excel sheet, this is the sales, and this is the sales calls, and this is the region, this is the goal of the sales, and actual sales happened. This is the column. Can you all see actual sales column?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this column tells you the goal set for that particular region. North region, these much amount of sales has to happen, but they were able to achieve only this much sales. Okay, what is the remaining and sales call goal? So what they have to achieve in the next.
Right, children, we were discussing the different sectors of the Indian economy, and we learned about its classification on 3 kinds, right? We learned that it can be classified on the basis of the nature of activities. We learned that it can be classified on the basis of ownership, and we also learned that it can be classified on the basis of the employment conditions, right? These were the 3 classifications that we learned about the different sectors of the Indian economy, and we discussed in detail the classification based on the nature of activities, right? Maybe Yashwant can take us a little through what we learned about this classification. Classification based on the nature of activities. Yes, Yashwant, please unmute your audio and.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
About the nature of activities.
Yeah.
There are 3 types.
On the basis. Yeah, correct. Please stop.
There are three. The activities are divided into 3 parts.
Yeah.
On the basis of nature.
Yeah.
They are primary, tertiary, and secondary activities.
Okay, please go in an order.
Okay.
Go in an order.
Primary, secondary, and tertiary.
Right, absolutely right. They are divided into primary, secondary, and tertiary. Okay. Now maybe I will ask Riddhi. Riddhi, maybe you can tell us a little about the primary sector quickly. Tell us what
this type of
exactly it is and give an example. Yeah.
In this type of sector, all natural resources are used.
Okay.
Example is farming. They use natural primitive tools.
Right.
And the result is even natural. It is basically the agricultural sector. It is agriculture and allied related sector.
You mean to say that the most important activity that comes under this sector is agriculture, right? Apart from agriculture, there are many other activities too, but they are all related to agriculture. And that's why we learned that this sector is also called
agriculture and allied related sector.
Absolutely right.